1842 to the autumn of 1844, more than 7,500 souls braved the Oregon Trail. Hunger, disease, and hostile Indians plagued their journey. Less than 300 families survived the trek to the far western frontier. This is the story of one family.
And get another jug and tend to the guests outside. Friends! Friends, I would like... I'm going to have some quiet, Ephraim.
All you had to do is tell me, Hadley.
Friends, I would like to propose a toast to my son, Will, and his beautiful bride, Elizabeth. Who on this 23rd day...
That's the 24th, Hadley.
24th, thank you, Ephraim, day of September in the year of our Lord 1843. Have seen fit to unite themselves in holy wedlock. May God Almighty bless their union.
That's the 6th blessing today.
6 whiskey, 2, Ephraim. Now you play on. Excuse me, lady.
Hadley, do you remember Minerva with the hoop snake?
You tell about that hoop snake one more time, Millie Bain.
Now, hush, Hadley. Big old hoop snake came rolling across the path. Oh, Gideon hightailed it for the nearest tree.
I think I'll hightail it to the nearest tree.
Was your mother-in-law took after that snake with a grubbing hoe?
Have a drink, son.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
Hadley?
What is it, Ben?
Preacher did a fine job, don't you think?
Oh, hitched him fine and proper. It's a shame we're losing him. Who knows what the new man will be like? I hear he's from Vermont. What kind of preaching do they do up there?
Lord only knows. Will you never do a fine wedding like we had today when the next one rolls around?
What next one's that, Ben?
Why, look at that.
I see my son dancing with your daughter, is all.
Aye. And what are his intentions, Hadley?
Gideon's?
Why, yes, Gideon's. Of course, Gideon's.
His intentions towards what, Ben?
Well, towards my daughter, Rachel.
I know no intentions he's got, Ben.
Annabelle, the squire's coming. Go get Pa.
Afternoon, Squire.
Afternoon, Chisholm. Congratulations.
Thank you kindly. Nice of you to come by. Can I offer you some whiskey and cakes?
Oh, thank you, no. Stokes and I have only a minute, but where's the groom? I have something for him.
Bonnie Sue, go get your brother.
Yes, Pa.
You sure I can't tempt you? Best whiskey in the county. I make it myself.
As who doesn't? But there's none better than Hadley Chisholm's. Will! Will! Congratulations.
Thank you, Squire.
And the best of luck to you, my dear.
Thank you, Squire.
I have a little present for you both. Man of responsibility now, eh, Will? I've been needing some extra help for the next 2 weeks, supervising the niggers. You come to my plantation, sign up tomorrow, you'll have a job.
Mighty kind of you, Squire. I'll be there.
Done then. Chisholm, Stokes.
How much do you think we'll be paying him, Bonnie Sue? Now, how would I know, Annabelle? Why don't you go in and get something to eat? I already ate. And go eat some more. Fine, Cassidy, you shouldn't be here. If somebody sees you.
I don't care. I just see the new dress you've been working on.
If your father knew you were here,
But he ain't gonna know, is he?
See you in the morning, Will. Elizabeth.
Good night, Paul.
What's the trouble, man? You seem mournful.
Just remembering things. How Will and Elizabeth met. How you and me met.
Won't long forget that myself, neither.
Walking my cow down this very same road.
Paula, 19 years old. Prettiest girl I ever did see.
Asked me if I wanted some whiskey. Said you made it yourself.
I never saw nobody with eyes so dancy or hair so blonde.
Asked me did I want to come visit him sometime. I told you no, I didn't. Asked me would I like to kiss you instead. I near fainted. But the thing of it was, I did want to kiss you, Hattie. But you was the boldest critter I ever met in my life. I'd as soon have let a razorback hog have his way with me. Got ourselves married, though, didn't we? Same as Will and Elizabeth.
I reckon we did.
Ever been sorry?
Only that you wouldn't kiss me that first time on this road.
Will, could I ask you something?
What is it, darling?
It's personal. Did you know lots of girls before me?
I never met anybody like you in all of Virginia.
How about when you were away fighting in Texas?
Well, the war was a long time ago, Lizzie.
Did you know any girls there in Texas?
Some.
How many?
Oh, I can't rightly say. 7 or 8 dozen, I guess.
Oh, you weren't. You're teasing me.
Then I guess maybe there weren't.
How many, then?
Why do you want to know?
Because I'm afraid I'll disappoint you.
Lizzie, there's no way on earth you could ever disappoint me.
Quit complaining, Bo. The barn's warm. Besides, Will will do it for you.
Do you think it's the same as when you're not married? I bet it ain't.
How would you know one way or the other?
I've been with girls, Gideon.
Not that way you ain't.
Neither of you.
You just keep thinking that, Bo.
Have you?
Ain't saying yes, I ain't saying no.
With Rachel Lowry?
You're doing all the talking, not me.
Shoot, you make me madder than hell sometimes.
We're gonna stay married a long, long time, ain't we?
You heard the preacher. As long as we both shall live.
Ain't nothing's gonna happen to you, is there?
Nothing.
Promise me, Will. Promise me you'll always take good care of yourself. And you'll always put on your underwear. And you won't go swimming if the weather's too cold. Or do anything foolish, like your daddy does with snakes.
Promise.
And promise you won't be disappointed.
I promise.
'Cause I'm scared out of my mind you will be.
Don't be scared, darling.
Well, the main house is on the high ground. It overlooks the fields and the slave quarters to the north there. Barns and stables to the south. We get fish from the river for yet another crop. In the winter, we cut ice from it. 3 ice houses on the plantation. Cat got your tongue? Just didn't realize it was this big. Big enough. 4,000 acres of the best land in Virginia. Squire's got 75 slaves. It cost him close to $40,000. You ask me, some of them ain't worth a cent. Work rule here is son to son. Let's look alive here! Squire don't believe in beating them. Says they're too valuable. Don't mind if you poke them or prod them every now and again, though. Most of them need it. Your wages are $1 a day, son to son. Does that suit you?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Hey, let's move it, Toby!
Well, now, look who we got here. And no man hath ascended up to heaven, but that he came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Now, you calm down, you little beauty. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. Oh, now look at that, will you? There's a hole still full of whiskey and not a damn drop fit to be drunk yet.
Will, you hear about the lady who lives up on the ridges? Her name is Charity Lewis. They named her rightly, I'm telling you.
Come here from England 3 years ago. Them English ladies know what it's about, I'm telling you. Only one don't know what's going on is her husband. He's a traveling man.
Looking over the merchandise, Will?
Nice little wagon here.
Want to buy it? I'm serious, Will. Squire's itching to sell it.
How much you want for it?
$100, I hear. You got $100, Will?
Don't need a wagon. Maybe old Gideon can use it. He ain't married. Take himself a little ride up the ridge, see old Charity.
Well, Gideon don't need old Charity. Gideon's got old Rachel Lowry, right, Will?
I reckon that's his business, ain't it?
Well, Rachel Lowry is everybody's business. Don't know anybody in town ain't sampled some of that sweet honey.
That's my brother's girl you're talking about, Stokes.
That's everybody's girl I'm talking about. By the time she was 13, half the boys in town had,
I think we best change the subject.
I like the subject. I truly do like the subject of old Rachel's skirts and the way she lifts them for anybody who happens to... You just lost yourself a job.
Didn't want it anyway.
Between the heart and the bite. It should do her. Starting to rise, ain't you? Thou shalt offer them before the Lord, and the priest shall cast salt upon them. Ah! Ezekiel 43:24.
Paul? What's the matter, Paul? What happened? Get bit by a snake, is that it?
Aye, so I did.
Look at that thing. It's rising like the morning sun.
I already drew the venom, Will.
Not enough of it, Paul. Better take some whiskey.
Go ahead. Here you go, son. I'm giving myself one devil of a headache, son. Nothing like this ever happened to me before, I can tell you. The critter had no right to do it. I wasn't meaning him no harm. What you doing home, Will?
Lost my job, Paul. Where is everybody?
Women over visiting Mrs. Thompson. I don't know where Bo or... How'd you lose it?
Hit Jeremy Stokes.
He deserves hitting. Hope you hit him good.
Good enough, Paul.
Old Dan Tucker and I got drunk. We fell in the fire and he kicked out the chunk. Charcoal got inside his shoe. Lord bless you, honey, how the ashes flew. Get out of the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out of the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out of the way, old Dan Tucker. You're too late to come to supper.
A fine pair of drunks. Middle of the day.
Pa got bit by a snake, Ma.
No, he didn't.
Oh, yes, he did.
And I lost my job, Elizabeth.
Let's put him to bed. Drunken fools.
Good night, Will.
Good night, Pa. I won't go over the job, Elizabeth.
Hello, honey.
So you're right. Messing with them critters.
No, it's written, Minerva. It's written in the book. No man hath ascended up to heaven.
I've heard that before, thank you. You soft.
Snakes is clean and polite men. No man on earth need never fear them.
Yes, well, if you had a little more fear.
And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness. Get out of the way, too late. Is past. The rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of the singing of birds has come. And the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land.
That your Mexican knife, Will?
That's what it is, darling.
How much did it cost?
Nothing.
How could it cost nothing?
Because I found it down there in Texas.
What was it like down there during the war?
Well, why do you want to know about fighting and such, huh?
Because I ain't never been to Texas.
Texas ain't just fighting.
Besides, it's history.
Wasn't long enough ago to be history.
Was too.
1836 ain't history.
All I wanted to know was what it was like.
Well, it wasn't much good.
What'd you do there?
Yelled and hollered and shot at people.
That don't sound like fun, Will.
It wasn't. I'd much rather go catfishing in the river.
Why don't we?
Why don't we just?
You got it.
I got it. Come on.
Ma's gonna kill you if she finds out you took her cooking fat.
How else am I gonna slippery up Curly here?
Looks slippery enough as he is.
Not so slippery as them pigs at the fair will be.
4th of July is still 2 weeks away. Don't know why we have to start practicing now.
Ain't you gonna practice? It's me.
So what'd you need me for?
To hold old Curly while I grease him. Come on.
Don't look to me like he's going anywhere.
That's because we ain't started greasing him yet.
I don't know why that $4 is so important to you.
Taking Rachel to the fair. Want to make sure she has a good time.
You gonna spend $4 whole on her?
If I win it, and more if I had it. Come on, let's grease him up good before Ma comes out here and starts hollering. It's all right, Curly. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. Stick his leaves, kids. You just hold him around the neck. Bring him back here. Attaboy, Curly. We're just gonna slick you up a little, that's all. Come on, hurry up. He stinks like a swamp. I gotta grease him like the ones at the fair will be greased. If he's big little pinky here, all the better. There we are. You can let him go now. Okay. Now, you just open the gate over there. I'm gonna take him out of the pen. Supposed to carry him 20 yards on the rules. Hey, you let that pig get away from me. Ain't no pig getting away from me, don't you worry. We go open the gate. All right. Let me know when you're ready. As soon as I pick him up. Where are you gonna carry him? Just to the front porch and back. That's about 20 yards, ain't it? I reckon. All right now. Here we go.
Attaboy, Gideon, hang on to that old pig. Don't drop him.
I saw him, Mike. Just I'll get him. Get him over there. Get over on that side. Come here, Curly. Curly, get out of there. Come on. Curly, come on.
Where'd you get that grease? Is that my cooking fat?
Just used a little of it. I got him, Ma. I got him, Ma. I'm sorry.
Get that pig back down in his camp where he belongs. Go on, do as I say. Yes, and don't plan on coming to table this evening with clean, decent folk.
Told you so.
Maybe your friend Curly will let you eat with him.
You all loose together in the pen there. Idea is to grab a pig and carry him 20 yards to that pen where old Glory's flying. Now, you all get ready to grab a pig when I fire the gun. Everybody ready now? Go get it, boys!
He had the pig by rights and the Cassidy boy tripped him. It was an accident. He never even seen your son. You'll keep out of this, Luke. It's my son you're saying tripped. Tripping's just what he did.
Calm down now, the both of you. This contest,
it ain't no fair if you're allowing tripping. His own 2 feet he tripped over. Now, you listen to me, Luke Cassidy. It was Trip. Had the pig square in his arms. Would have just been a matter of getting to the flag.
Stop fussing over it.
Anyway, Brian didn't trip him.
Man sticks out his leg, that's tripping a person. Lost $4 because Cassidy wouldn't play fair.
And you're losing a fine summer's evening because you're still fuming over it. Now stop it, Hadley, do you hear me?
What's going on between you two?
Tell him, honey. Well, let me tell him here. Well, we waited till we were sure, Pa. I reckon we're gonna have a baby.
Well, bless your heart, darling.
When, Liz? Oh, should be coming sometime after harvest.
I'll be damned.
No, you won't neither. And stop cussing.
It's worth a little cussing. The man's gonna be a grandpa. Here you are, son. Here's to you.
Thanks, Pa.
Come over here, George.
I think they're about ready to start.
Ye lust and have not. Ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not because ye ask not. Ye ask and receive not because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lusts. I chose this passage because indeed there has been strife in this town, neighbor against neighbor, Christians behaving toward each other in ways that are neither peaceable, gentle, easy to be entreated, nor full of good fruits. And what is the cause of this strife? I've been told the trouble started more than 35 years ago. Can you conjure how long ago that was? 35 years ago. I think you know whereof I speak. I need not elaborate further.
He was talking about your uncle and my aunt.
I'm not even sure what happened back then.
He left my Aunt Sarah standing at the church is what happened. The way she looks now, it's hard to picture ever being young. She was only 22 or 3 at the time, standing there in her wedding gown and veil, waiting for your father's brother to come and marry her. And he's off to sea, my pa says. Ask your own father. It's his brother done the running.
Two things Pa won't talk about are his brother running off and my grandpa getting killed by an Indian.
A lot of Indians back
Ryan! Oh, you make me so dizzy I can't think.
I don't think, Bonnie Sue. Too much thinking as it is. Think about you all day. I can't get my chores done. I dream about you all night long. Can't get a wink of sleep.
Please.
And you're going crazy thinking about you. Thinking about what I want to do to you. Bonnie Sue, you got to let me.
Okay, God. You got to give me, please. Brian, I'm going home now. I gotta get home. Brian, please let me go.
No. Not this time.
Brian, please.
Go on. You got to get home, so go on and get home. I love you, Bonnie Sue! I love you!
Morning, Hadley. Morning, Luke. I'm real sorry about your sister. A good, God-fearing woman.
There's something we got to talk about. Not much like it myself, but right is right.
You want to tell me what it's about?
About your brother, Thomas Chisholm, and my sister, Sarah, may God rest her soul. I've been carrying this in my heart almost 36 years, Hadley, not able to speak it because Sarah wouldn't let me. And she's dead now. Ain't nothing to stop me from claiming what was hers and what's now mine.
And what's that, Luke?
This cornfield right here.
I ain't rightly following you.
This cornfield bounded on the north by a stand of trees running from the cabin to the river. On the south by a marker set in a rock ledge there, running likewise to the river past the old Indian burial ground. On the east by the woods behind the Chisholm cabin. On the west by the river itself. I know it by heart from the papers.
What papers are those?
I got them right here. War before one Hiram Partridge.
If there's papers, I'll want a lawyer.
Name the time, Hadley.
That's what the papers say, Mim. And my brother, the damn fool, deeded the land east of the river to Sarah Cassidy just before he left Virginia. Probably out of guilt for breaking his promises to her.
Why did she say nothing of it at the time?
Because she was a fierce, proud woman and didn't want the town folk to think she'd sold my brother his freedom.
Has Luke known this all along?
I kept quiet out of respect to Sarah. But now she's gone, and she's willed the cornfield over to Luke. Our cornfield, Min. He owns it by law.
Are you sure those papers are legal?
Signed and swore to. What's written is written, Min.
Bit for planting.
That's what I told my pa when we were clearing that field over there.
That's good planting soil. This is nothing but a rock ledge.
It was trees growing here, wasn't it?
Trees ain't corn, Pa. Trees will grow any place there's a patch of soil. Here they come, Pa.
Morning, Hadley.
Morning.
Come to harvest our corn.
Ain't ours no more, son.
It was us who planted it.
Field's theirs by law.
Might as well try planting a mountaintop.
Them folks done that, too.
Not hereabouts.
Always the first time, son.
I don't know what's more stubborn. You or this field.
Me.
Ma's right. How are we gonna get by without corn?
We still got whiskey to sell. Enough to last us till spring, anyways.
What are we doing that gets out?
We'll have corn by then.
How? We ain't got the land no more.
We got this field we're clearing.
This field won't grow nothing, and you know it.
Ain't a field on God's earth can't be made to yield, son.
Corn could have been made to grow here. Your own pa would have planted it.
My pa had the good land. We don't.
We ain't got this neither. Land ain't worth nothing.
It'll yield, Bo.
You ain't God, Pa. God Almighty couldn't get this land to grow corn.
Don't blaspheme! Where you going empty-handed? There's still work to be done here.
To get a drink of water. Get off of our land! Oh, Bo's got the gun. Get off in our land! You hear me? I said get the hell off of it! Get off! Let it go!
Oh, Gideon, quit it, I tell you. No, Luke, no! I apologize for my sons, Luke. The corn's yours to harvest. Won't no Chisholm be giving you trouble ever again. Bo, Gideon, come along.
Thought you wasn't coming. I've been waiting
stay but
since.
a minute. Elizabeth's in labor. Will's already gone to fetch Millie Bain.
Well, it's a time he'd have come to the Cassidys. My grandma was the one brought your own pa in the world.
It was a time, Brian, not no more.
Your ma's saying around town she's thinking of moving the whole family back to Bristol.
Brian, I gotta
back where
go.
she come from to start. Is that true?
She's been writing to her sister.
You moving to Bristol then?
Mine's all alone. She's wanting to take us in.
I don't want you to go.
Brian, if the family...
The families have made enough decisions. I want to marry you, Bonnie Sue. I want you for my wife. You were 17 in July. That's old enough for marrying. If it's the cornfield that's bothering you, I've been offered work at the livery stable. I won't have nothing to do with the cornfield. Bonnie Sue, will you marry me?
I don't know. Brian, I've got to leave. Elizabeth's
Don't you want to?
Oh, yes, I want to. I want to more than anything in the world.
Then say yes.
Let me think, Brian. You never give me time to think.
When'll I see you again?
I don't know.
It's been almost a month since your brother shot at us. If I've seen you twice in all that while.
Next Saturday. Here. I promise.
Go fetch some rags. Where's your sister?
I don't know, Mom. Grandma.
Where have you been? When we need every woman in the house.
Will, where's Will?
Hush now, Liz. You're doing fine.
Will, where's Will?
Outside with the man where he ought to be.
Tell him
Never mind, Will. You push that there baby out of you, hear?
Tell him I'm trying.
He knows you're trying. Now come on, give a big push. That child's waiting to see daylight. Rags, Mom.
Go wet him. She's feverish.
What can I do, Mom?
Take hold of her hand there. Give her something to push against.
Will?
It's me, darling.
Oh, Bonnie Sue.
That's the girl. Give a big push.
You're doing fine, Elizabeth. Just a little bit more.
Hold my hand tight,
Did I do it?
Yes, darling, you've done it. Scissors, men. Now. Hold still. This won't take another minute. There.
Blanket, Annabelle.
It's a boy, Liz.
Will he not cry? Where's his voice, Ma? Ma, make him cry! Make my son cry! Ma! Make him cry! Make my son cry!
What have you done for the fever?
Gave her some snakeroot tea and some pennyroyal leaves boiled in water.
There now. That feels better, don't it? There's Nice and cool, ain't it? Now, you're gonna be fine. Ain't nothing to worry about. I want you to get a lot of sleep, you hear? Must be bone weary. Just close your eyes and go to sleep. Now, close your eyes. I'll run by again, and meanwhile, if she gets any hotter, you put her in a tub of cold water if you have to. Anything to break that fever. Hadley?
Evening, Doc.
Doc, she'll be all right?
I'll be back tomorrow noon.
Couple more ought to do it.
Carry her over. Hurry now.
Elizabeth, I'm gonna have to put you in the tub now, darling. Lizzie, you hear me?
Will, I'm sorry. Forgive me, Will.
Ain't nothing to forgive. Just put your arms around me, darling.
I know how much you...
Honey, the only important thing is you get well again. Ain't nothing else in this world matters otherwise. We'll have a baby. We'll have a whole passel of babies. There's plenty of time yet for everything.
Yes,
All the time in the world.
Will. Oh, you've been outside again. Just your shirt. I can feel the cold on you. You got to promise me.
I'll promise you, darling. Just grab onto me.
Because if anything should happen to you...
Ain't nothing gonna happen to me.
Best keep her gown on. Keep her wet afterwards, same as the cloth did. Hadley, we're going to do this to bring the fever down. Now, Will and his pa will lower you in a bit at a time, but it's going to be mighty cold anyways.
Lizzie? Honey?
Oh, good Lord.
Elizabeth Nelson Chisholm was born in this town in October of 1821. She lived here as infant, as young girl, as growing woman, and as loving wife. It said she never raised her voice to a living soul. Even as an infant in her cradle, she would wait patiently for her mother to lift her and feed her, never once crying, only greeting that loving woman with a gentle, sunny smile. In the classroom, she was delicate and shy, but with an ever-inquiring mind that gained the honor and respect of teachers and students alike. There's a story they tell about Liz Chisholm, and I think it might be worth repeating here today while we are gathered in her memory. It said that at a barn raising on the ridges one October 3 years ago, she and two friends went far into the woods.
Hadley, you all right?
I'm fine.
I'm worried about you. We had a drop of whiskey all afternoon. Times like this, it's fitting for a man to take some whiskey. Let me get you a cup before I leave.
You needn't bother. I'm fine.
What do you think about the new preacher?
I think he had no right talking of her like he'd known her.
Didn't know her.
Didn't know her at all. Put together bits and pieces of her life is what he done. Got from the neighbors along the ridge.
Is just what he done.
Reading psalms over her and the poor dead baby. It's wrong. He chose his words wrong. I'll tell you plain, Reverend Cooper. I don't think the words you spoke over the grave of my son's wife were suitable.
I'm sorry if my choice.
Those were words of celebration. And here in these mountains, we don't celebrate at graveside. We mourn those who have passed on, sir. And we were there last Wednesday to mourn a fine...
I assure you, Mr. Chisholm.
A fine, decent woman. You shouldn't have gone on like you'd known her all your life. You're new in these parts. You scarcely ever saw her elsewhere but in church. It would have been more fitting...
Mr. Chisholm, a graveside sermon is customarily...
That's not the custom here. And we don't speak psalms over our departed. You should have quoted from Proverbs 31, where it's written, her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life.
Yes, yes. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with hands. She is like the merchant ships.
Aye, you know it well enough now, but where was it on Wednesday? Do you need a poor farmer to poke and prod you into recollection?
I assure you, sir,
The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God hath made. Where in the Bible is that written?
Genesis 3:1.
Aye, that's very good, Reverend. Now let's see what else you can remember with a little poking and prodding. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They're like the deaf adder that stoppeth... Yes, what? That stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers.
Psalms 58:4.
Aye, Psalms is correct. You know your Psalms well, Reverend. It was Psalms you quoted Wednesday. Are you nothing but a psalm singer then? Oh, fear not the reptile. Reverend, he'll bite only the man who cannot tell his scriptures. So then, there be 3 things which are too wonderful for me, yea, 4 which I know not. The way of an eagle in the air.
The way of a serpent upon the rock. Proverbs 30:18 and 19.
Excellent. They cast down every man his rod.
And they became serpents. Exodus 7:12.
Oh, it becomes more difficult. Look into them beady eyes, Reverend. He's getting ready to bite you should you slip on the word. All right, are you ready? For behold, I will send serpents, cockatrices among you. Quick, what is it? The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat.
Jeremiah.
I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
Matthew 10:16.
Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell? To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. It was good to us, this land, and my pa before me. But it wasn't meant to be for my sons.
It ain't rightly in Ecclesiastes, Pa, but there's a time for staying, and there's a time for going.
Aye. But go where, Will? Ain't no good land to be had in Kentucky, nor any place east of the Mississippi. I'm thinking California.
California?
Or maybe Oregon.
Oregon?
Ain't nothing here for us no more, men.
This home.
It ain't home. The Cassidys own the land. It ain't home no more.
Pa's right.
Son, you're grieving just now.
Aye, I'm grieving. But we talked about this ourselves, Lizzie and me. When we thought we'd have a baby and not much to feed it. We talked about moving on, finding a new life for ourselves. It's nothing for us here now, Ma. Nothing at all.
Ma, we love this place same as you, but if we can't plant what to eat, if we can't make our whiskey...
We'll go to my sister's then.
I want to go west.
Can we go west, Ma?
No. This family is staying right here. Or going to Bristol, one or t'other. We need some wood. Bo, get me some.
Ma, there ain't no way we could grow corn in that field. No way at all.
Go fetch Mr. Wood.
I don't want to leave here. Not West, nor Bristol, nor no place. This is where we live.
And this is where we'll starve.
We ain't starved yet, and we ain't gonna.
I asked the squire how much he'd be wanting for that blue wagon of his. Be a big enough one to take us cross country. He said 100. I got him down to 90. We got enough put by to pay for the wagon and the journey both.
How much you figure, Paul?
I'm thinking somewhere between 7 and 1,500.
You'd spend what we've taken half our lives to save.
I'd spend it for the next half. Man, I'm a farmer, ain't got nothing to farm. There's land out west. It can be bought cheap and it can be planted. Bailey says he'll sell us the wagon. I want to buy it, Min.
Do as you wish. Bo, get me some wood.
Tell him we're not going.
I have told him.
Pa?
I'm buying the wagon. Morning, Mr. Stokes.
Morning, Chisholm. What is it you want here?
My business with the squire, Stokes.
He'd be inside now. I'll take you on in.
I'd be obliged to you then.
Mr. Chisholm has business with the squire, Jethro.
Come in, gentlemen. I'll see can he come.
Good morning, Chisholm. Come this way.
Here's the $90.
What $90?
For the wagon.
And what wagon is that?
For the wagon you agreed to sell me for the journey west.
I think I'd prefer keeping that wagon. Mind you, I have no objection to your leaving these parts. I merely suggest you do so in your own wagon.
You promised to sell me your wagon. I'm here to pay you for it.
I recollect no such promise.
I rode over here. The wagon was sitting right inside your barn. We agreed to $90 for it. That's the price. Here's the 90. We got a verbal contract,
I
Bailey.
had a verbal contract with that young preacher, Harlow Cooper, too. Brought him all the way from Vermont. Promised him he'd find a God-fearing people in this town. Not the kind that come in the Lord's house throwing snakes at a man. I reckon if one contract can be broken, then another can be broken just as easy. Wouldn't you say so, Stokes?
I would say so, Squire.
In which case, good day, Chisholm.
A contract is a contract.
Go to the law if you like.
Aye, that's just what I'll do. Go to law, is it? I'll go to law. Here now, listen to this in Galatians. Brethren, I speak after the manner of men. Though it be but a man's covenant, yet if it be confirmed, no man disannulleth or addeth thereto. I made a covenant with Horace Bailey, and now he's trying to annul it. Not only is that unlawful in the manner of men, it's also contrary to what's written in the Bible, which is the law of God Almighty.
Hadley, forget about the wagon. We got a wagon of our own.
It ain't big enough to take us where we're going.
But my sister's place?
No more of your sister or her place. Your place, if you want to know it, is with your husband, where he wants to go. That's written too, Minerva. Let's go fetch our wagon. It's written!
Thelma! Nice and easy, Stokes.
What do you want here, Chisholm?
We come for our wagon, Stokes.
You ain't got no wagon here.
Don't argue with the man. Just slit his throat and toss him over there in the bushes.
Your pa's kidding, ain't he?
That's right, Stokes. I ain't gonna slit your throat. What I'm gonna do is skin you alive.
Come on now, Will.
Squire's hogs will find you're hiding in bushes come morning. Have themselves a good meal, make them strong and healthy. Hogs will enjoy feasting on you.
Ain't you slit his throat yet?
I've been thinking otherwise, Pa.
Well, whatever you're thinking, get on with it, son.
Any trouble? Smooth as ice. It's blue, huh? Always did favor blue.
Well, you can admire it later. Now, tie that good and tight. We don't want him chasing us into California.
This'll have to keep your mouth shut, Stokes.
Here's for the wagon, Stokes. You tell the squire. $90 in gold, just like we agreed. Now, let's get this wagon over to Bo, hitch up them mules.
wheel, the clock. Now wrap it carefully.
How many of those left in there?
These are the last of them, Pa.
Sorry we can't take all your goods, son.
I was hoping you'd forget that fool snake.
It's our good luck charm.
My butter churn.
What are you looking at?
That's the silliest looking hat in the world. It makes you look like a turtle.
My pa's hat. It's gonna bring us good luck. A turtle? All set then?
Yeah!
Yeah, Pa.
What are you wiggling for, huh?
What you got behind your back?
Guess.
I don't know what.
Go on, guess.
I don't know. Oh, that's what you've been with.
Little something for you to play with on the road to California.
Oh, thank you.
Hang in there. All right, let it down. Now take it away. Gonna be a mule skinner, there's only one thing you have to remember. Left hand, left mule. Right hand, right mule. Now repeat after me. Left hand, left mule. Right hand, right mule. Both hands.
Both mules.
You don't expect me to cross the river on a thing like that? Person could get drowned out there in a minute.
Your son's been to Louisville before, when he went to fight in Texas. He knows this river.
He may know the river and not his ma. Me and my goods won't be going down no river, thank you. Hadley, I want to go home. First thing in the morning. I want to turn around and go home.
First thing in the morning, we're going west.
You're going west, maybe.
We're all going west.
Ma, don't worry. I took a skiff downriver and then got on a steamboat in Shippingport.
Well, let's all get on a steamboat downriver, too.
Cost too much.
How much?
Maybe $14 apiece, plus whatever they charge for the wagon and animals.
I doubt they'd even allow those aboard, Pa. Weren't none on the steamboat I took to New Orleans.
Hadley, I'm going home. If I have to hire on with a traveling circus.
Man.
As a trapeze artist, on a bearded lake.
Oh, it ain't dangerous. Current's not so fast. River changes width a lot.
Sure happy to hear that.
There's rocks and islands all along the way.
Sounding better all the time.
Yeah, honey. Let's hunt to Louisville.
Dress with lace.
We ain't looking for dresses. Pardon me.
Oh, Ma, a hat with feathers.
Hats neither. For behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads, and his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven, and it cast them to the earth.
Revelations?
Aye, Revelations. Come along. Excuse me. Blessed silence. What do you find so comical?
Ma'am?
It's the streets frighten us is all.
Not me.
Hush. We're far from home, and we've never seen a city this size.
Oh, it's a good city, though the water is stagnant and the end's infested with varmints. Will you be staying in one of the hotels?
No, but much obliged. Is that coffee I spy?
That's coffee.
How much the pound?
50 cents.
50 cents?
That's not a bad price.
It's an outrageous price. Back home, I can get it for 30.
Well, it's been 38 here even before it was scarce.
Well, I'll need it anyway. But you couldn't do better with a pistol in your hand and a mask on your face.
We're going west.
Are you now? How many pounds will you be wanting, ma'am?
Make it 2.
2.
We ain't going west, Annabelle.
Sure we are.
Where west, young lady?
California or Oregon. We ain't decided yet.
We are going home. That's where we're going.
And wise you'd be. How are you for cornmeal, ma'am?
How'd you mean wise?
Well, you'd be foolhardy attempting that trip this time of year.
The rivers, do you mean?
Well, the rivers ain't so bad. What I'm talking about's running the snow in the mountains. Did you say meal?
5 pounds. What snow?
Well, you're getting a late start. Will you open me the wagon train in Independence? Because they're all gone by now. You see, them Indians would love nothing better than to run into a lone wagon out on those prairies. Why, those savages would scalp your men, burn your wagons, steal your horses, and take you and your daughters captive. How are you for molasses?
Can't believe the man was all out of linchpins.
King bolts, too.
You think in a town this size?
Still, maybe get the chain and the rope we need.
I'm thinking we'd do better in Evansville.
Or maybe in Independence, Pa. If we ever make it that far.
Pardon me, gentlemen. If you're planning on stocking a wagon, it's Independence will be better. Because Independence is a jumping-off place. That is, if you're heading west.
We are.
Name's Lester Hackett.
Hadley Chisholm. My sons Will, Gideon, and Bo.
You're leaving a bit late, though. Wagon trains start making up middle of May.
That's what this is, middle of May.
May 17th, you want to know?
17th it is, right enough, but downriver in Evansville, it's already the 20th. And in Independence, which is clear the other side of Missouri, it's the middle of July.
I don't follow you.
I'm trying to tell you, sir, that with any luck, you'll reach St. Louis by the end of June. You got to figure another couple of weeks on top of that for the trip to Independence. Wagon trains will have left a month or more by the time you get there.
Bound to be some late travelers.
Not likely.
We'll find some.
There'll be none left, Mr. Chisholm, I'm telling you. You'll not find anyone foolish enough to risk snow in the Rockies. You've got to be well beyond and before fall. I've seen it snow sometimes early as middle of September. You got any idea how many miles you're talking about? Where are you heading? Is it California or Oregon?
I don't see as that's any of your business, sir.
Pardon me, then. Good luck to you.
Man talks too much.
Talk some sense, too, Paul.
Aye.
Would you like a single room, madam, or a suite?
No, nothing. Thank you. Sir.
No offense, sir. How do you know so much about the journey west?
Let it pass. None of my business. You're right, sir.
You're the one who's opened the discussion.
I'm the one that's now closing it. I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for passing the time of day with one who's only been guiding parties west since the year 1837.
Well, if you're a guide, you best be hurrying, Mr. Hackett. It's already the middle of July in Independence.
Well put, Mr. Chisholm, well put. I've already missed the wagons this year for true. This is when the wagons are leaving. You'll be late by a month or so by the time you get there. Take the advice of a well-meaning stranger. Go back where you come from.
We've come this far.
This far? By the time you get to Independence, you still have 2,000 miles to travel before you get to California. Turn around now and save yourselves a lot of grief.
Now, we've already made up our minds.
And I'll buy you all a drink in the finest Louisville has to offer. For you're either heroes or madmen, neither of which I've met before.
You boys have your drink. I'm going to go find your mom. There's some talking I want to do.
What about?
Go ahead and drink.
My daughters and I want a bath. How much will it be for each of us?
15 cents for a bath and a clean rinse.
Does soap come with it?
How else you going to get that grime of travel off you?
Oh, it's that plain then.
Where are you coming from?
Virginia. And heading back there in the morning.
Take your bath first. Door at the end, down the hall.
Thank you. Come on.
Came to Louisville in pursuit of a poker game, heading downriver on a steamboat out of Cincinnati. Came with $400. Hoping to build it into a small fortune I might invest in California. Lost all of it, saved $30.
That's a lot of money.
Bartender, more to drink over at that table. Lost my pocket watch besides. Not to mention my horse and saddle. Fine Kentucky rifle with brass and silver inlays and a pair of Spanish pistols. All I got left to my name is $9.50. You know what I plan on doing with it?
What?
Drink it away in this fine saloon with you gentlemen. Then I'm gonna wander down to the falls and throw myself in the river.
No, you won't.
No, I won't.
To think of even attempting that river.
It didn't look half bad to me, Mom.
Your pa may be stubborn sometimes, but he's never foolhardy or wasteful. From what the grocer told us, there ain't no sense in risking the rivers and then trekking clear across Illinois just to reach a town on the edge of nowhere and nowhere to go from it. Like heading to a party a day late. Well, I'll talk to him as soon as we get back to the livery stable.
How much are they charging us to spend the night there, Mom?
40 cents, corn and hay each of the animals. Letting them sleep there free. A lot of sleep we'll get this noisy town. Oh, it'll be good to get back home again. Cook inside of my own house. Take a bath in front of my own fire. Have myself a nice cup of sassafras tea afterward.
If you gentlemen are mad enough or courageous enough to want to continue west after all I've told you,
We're going, come hell or high water.
then here's my proposition. I'll help you find a vessel to take you down the Ohio and guide you to St. Louis. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
No charge, free charge. Just tuck me in a wagon someplace. Give me a little bit of food every now and then. How's that sound?
Sounds very good. How's that, Will? I'm thinking about it.
Mama,
Yes, darling.
when am I going to be a grown woman?
Soon enough. Now get yourself dressed.
Seems to me Bonnie Sue got grown faster than I'm doing it.
It'll happen before you know it.
You'll have all the young men in town following you around. Won't neither. You will, too.
Out of the tub, you.
How about it, Will? Bo? Let's have another drink, Lester. I like what you're saying. Now, how long will it take for the boat to get downriver?
Another round over here, bartender. Coming right up.
Good afternoon, miss. Mind if I sit with you? I'm Bo Chisholm. You, live here in Louisville? I'm a stranger here myself. Big city, ain't it? Thought maybe you'd like to go for a walk by the river. Nice day out. Thought maybe we'd stroll a little. Well, nice passing the time of day with you, miss.
About your proposition, Lester.
Yes, Will?
Tell us more.
What it can get you is a broadhorn, about a mile downriver. Now, what she is, she's similar to a flatboat, except not as crude. The troon I have in mind is a man named Jimmy Jackson, no relation to the former president. Troons is what they call these riverboat captains. Now, he owes me a favor. I think I can get him to take the wagon and the entire party for an even $20. Now, that's cheap, if you know riverboat prices.
Would that be all the way to Evansville?
Near there. I haven't talked to him yet, mind you, but I'm sure that's the destination and the price.
That's very nice, Mr. Hackett. But it happens that we ain't going to Evansville. Where we're going is back to Virginia.
Now, who in the hell decided that?
You cuss one more time in this house.
Ain't but a stable, Ma. Who went and decided we're turning around?
I did. Your ma and I did. She made me see the good sense in us turning back to home, not leading this here family into danger. I know it cost us a pretty penny to get here, but what I plan to do is sell the whiskey we brung with us and make up the loss that away. Do you know what kind of prices they're getting here?
We found us a man here that could get us to St. Louis in no more than 2 weeks. Ain't that right?
That's right.
And if we travel fast and we leave Independence...
Wagon trains have already left Independence.
I know that, Ma, but we can catch them. Ain't that right, Lester?
It can be done.
Common rum is selling for $4 a gallon here. Brandy's fetching $6. I want to sell my whiskey high and head back home. Try to get that field working. That's what I want to do.
Let's put it to a vote, then.
We don't need no vote. I already decided.
There's others in this family, too. Yes, Paul, we got our own lives.
Well, go on and vote, then.
Paul?
I said go on and vote.
What you say?
You know what I say. I want to go home.
Ma?
Aye. Home.
Annabelle?
Home.
Gideon?
West.
Bo?
West.
I vote west, too. Hi, Sue.
West.
Pa?
I heard it. Mr. Hackett. You've been west and back a half a dozen times. Is that it?
5 times, sir.
5 times or 6, the small difference. What I'm driving at is I'm sure you're a man skilled in the ways of the trail.
Aye, that I am.
And being skilled in the ways of the trail, I'm sure you've many times seen what I've got right here in this old sack.
But of the Western variety.
A brother or a cousin,
Might be put that way.
Have a closer look at him.
Shall I break his back, sir? Or do you still want him as a pet?
Bo, fetch Gideon. We gotta load the wagon on.
Yes, Pa.
Call her Mackinaw if you like, but she's parched. What she is, there's no denying her name or her plainness.
She'll suit us fine.
Well, I'm hoping so, lad. Price I'm giving you. And I hope it don't bother you none that I'm tearing a full load of hemp and pork in bulk. Them is being loaded now. You get your gear and your people on board, we'll start this journey. It's already costing me money.
If the price doesn't suit you.
It suits me fine, ma'am. Good. Is she afraid of the river?
Only if the patroon begrudging the price doesn't get us downriver safely.
Well, she has nothing to worry about then. The patroon knows his trade. And he'll get his fair wages. Bring the wagon on board! The river makes a man feel like a man.
Mind your steering.
I made this trip 1,000 times. I can do it blindfolded.
Do it in silence, will you, please? And a man of the land's no less of a man.
Now, how would she know that?
I don't care to continue this conversation. I'm sure the river's what you do best.
Is she angry?
What's wrong with him? Is the man daft?
It would seem so.
Is he bothering you? Because if he is...
No, that's all right.
Shallow water up ahead, Captain.
Vanities of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he hath under the sun?
Which he taketh under the sun.
Which he taketh under the sun. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh.
They sure do.
But the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteneth to his place where he arose. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again.
Is she lonesome?
Good morning, Captain. Where are they being taken?
She interested in slaves, then?
I've never been pleased by the sight of men and women in bondage. Are you proud of such cargo?
They're slaves.
Men and women, Captain.
They don't belong to me. A man talking to your good husband down there broke up his farm in the Shenandoah and moving him south. Drop him off downriver a couple of miles. What do you think of the shape of that winch there, huh?
I beg your pardon?
She's built like a brood mare. I'd like to hire her for a couple of hours.
More pigeons in Indiana than there are people. Seen them roosting in trees and branches that break from the weight. Sometimes the skies are so full of them, it's like clouds passing overhead.
They're beautiful.
Has she left a fine home back in Virginia, with all in it homemade, save for the cherrywood dresser she's carrying west?
Have you been in our wagon? Is that part of your trade, too, Captain? Spying?
There's enough in that wagon to furnish the governor's mansion. Pewter plates, wooden bowls, shot bags.
You have been inside our wagon.
Only to sniff at her pillow.
Would you like to be sniffing it through a bloodied nose?
Anybody for a game of poker?
Don't know the game.
You happy to teach you, sir?
Oh, you're a sharper for sure. You plan to win from us all you lost on the steamboat?
Hey, Jimmy, we have a fistful of these beans you're carrying. For what purpose? To use for money. You got some tricks I'd like to see. Help yourself, but don't go spilling them all over my deck. Little for you, and a lot for me. Let's find ourselves a spot in the sun.
What is it, Min?
What do you mean?
Something ailing you?
No.
Well, what is it then? You've been clinging on to me?
It's seeing the farms back along the river.
Farms?
Reminds me of Virginia.
Well, Min, we're about to play some cards here.
I know that.
There's apt to be talk I wouldn't want you hearing.
Oh, but there ain't no talk in the world I haven't heard. Could give you some talk of my own would blister your eyeballs.
That's the truth. But I know you don't like cussing, and there might be some should the cards run wrong one way or the other.
I don't mind cussing.
That's news.
Well, I suppose it is.
But I mind you hearing it. So you just set yourself right down here and let us play our game in peace.
Hadley.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing.
What is it?
Nothing.
Does she want it?
No.
She'll take it. Want it or not. Oh, I thought she might catch it between her legs.
Leave me alone.
I think not.
Ma, come see.
What is it?
Look. He plays just like Ephraim.
It reminds me of home. Oh, it's beautiful.
Ah, it's beautiful. She's beautiful.
I've been needing the knife you brought from Texas.
What do you want my knife for, Ma?
Lost my paring knife.
You gonna be paring this time of night?
First thing in the morning.
I'll give it to you in the morning, then.
You give it to me now and hush.
Careful of it, Ma. It's as sharp as a razor.
Feel that, Captain? It's a knife. It's my son's knife he brought from Texas. It's sharp as a razor. Keep away from me. Did you hear?
I didn't.
Now go. Go.
Pleasure having you aboard, ma'am. It's a real pleasure.
What you thinking, Min?
Hard to say. I know what's back there. I don't know what's ahead.
There's only one way to find out, ain't there? Let's go, Min. We ever want to get to California. Will, Gideon, Bo. Let's move.